Morning, everybody. It is week 4. Actually, week 4 is done, so it's technically week 5. But this is the week 4 update of Operation Goose Rocket, and I am excited to talk to you guys about the progress we've been making and some of the new discoveries we've had in running this project to get these milestones done and incorporate good habits, foundational habits for my career, and help you guys do the same. So hope you're doing well. Operation Goose Rocket Week 4 update starting now. I'll be talking to you guys about how to maintain momentum while moving towards your goals, how to essentially persist and keep it going, because I know oftentimes we keep going and we're trying to make the progress, and then before you know it, a roadblock gets in the way and then we stop and we lose all our momentum. Momentum is the most important thing. So today we're going to talk about how we keep momentum and what it takes to keep going on the road less traveled. I'm Oni Onyabor, and this is the Oni Onyabor Raising Project, Week 4, Operation Goose Rocket. I'm going to talk about how maintaining momentum can help us in our life. Now I'm going to get down to the library and actually sit down with you guys so you guys have a proper board so we can talk about what this means. But there's 3 main points that I want to get through to you guys and help you out, because maintaining momentum is one of the biggest principles of, achieving success, right? It's not even really how well you accomplish the little tasks so much as you maintain the energy to move forward. And so today we're going to talk about keeping that momentum and how it goes. Hopefully this will make sense as we're jumping back and forth, but hope you guys are well, and I'll see you in the library. I wasn't able to get to the library. It's closed because there's a holiday. Reason why it was closed, so I'm having to go to a coffee shop and do the rest of the video from there, so hopefully it'll work out. Hey guys, this is the Oni Onyabor Raising Project. Finally here, got it. You guys won't believe what it took to get here. Sorry if the sound quality is not super great. I'm still trying to figure out like a proper microphone for everything here, so hopefully we'll figure it out, but the video quality is coming along. Anyway, just wanted to talk about those 3 steps to maintaining momentum, right? And so let's just jump right into it. And that's going to be the first step. We're going to talk about measuring your results, right? And so what that really means is the first step is you want to establish KPIs. Now, for those of you guys don't know what it is, a KPI is a key progress indicator. So it's essentially whatever quantifiable metric you use to basically keep track of the progress you're making. So for instance, you have a goal that you want to do 1,000 push-ups in a week, right? Your KPI is the number of push-ups. So to keep track of that, you would do 200 push-ups every single day, you get your 1,000. And then, if you didn't do that, your KPI would tell you how far off you were, right? Now, I'll have a sheet here that I use actually to measure my KPIs. I'll show you guys that. I'll probably put some B-roll over it or whatever. But in this sheet, I keep track of things like when I wake up, my push-ups, when I get up and eat breakfast. And this gives me a good idea of how much am I doing the key things that are important so that I can move towards my goals. Now, some of these things aren't as helpful as others, right? So for instance, like I'll have like post Duolingo, I'll do Duolingo post content as some of my KPIs. They're not necessarily as important for hitting my goals, but they're just general wellness and health things that I keep in mind. I try to make sure that these things don't take up too much of my time, but it's really important that in the general goals that we've talked about before, that you have KPIs, these key progress indicators that help you know exactly what those are. Right? So then after that, you want to assemble your habits and routines around those things, right? That's obvious, right? So going back, what are the habits you're doing every day? So for instance, if I have a goal to work on my health, I have things that I can do like go to jiu-jitsu or go to the gym, and the KPIs for that would be how often did I go. And then if you want to get more specific, tracking the exercises you did and the amount of weight you did per exercise. And these are keeping track of the key progress indicators so you know what your results are like, because when you're measuring, it allows you to feel invested in your results because you're actually knowing where you're improving and where you're not improving, because you have hard numbers. It's not just a floating feeling that you're getting. It's something that's hard and tangible. And when you have something like that actually backing up your results, it makes it easier to progress, and obviously you do better. So one of the biggest first steps to maintaining momentum is to make sure you're measuring your results. And last here, whatever tracker you use, I have a habit tracker that I use, as well as for my writing, I keep track of it. So specifically for my writing, I have a word count goal and I have a date goal. I'll show you guys a little video footage of my tracker, and that's essentially what I use to make sure that I'm actually keeping track with my writing, because at the end of the day, it's just about putting words down, and there is a bit of a quality filter to that, but ultimately at the end of the day, if I'm writing and showing up, the work is going to get done, and if I'm not doing it, then I have something to look at and I can track my progress. So there's nothing debatable or flighty about this. Hard, tangible numbers help get it done. Now, going to the second step, right? The most important thing is to make sure you guys embrace failure, right? Now, this is a step I think a lot of people really have a hard time understanding, is that in order to move forward, you have to be okay with failing. That's just part of the journey, especially at the beginning. You're gonna fail a lot. I'm on so I just finished up Operation Goose Rocket week 4, and I still have yet to do a perfect week. Now every week I am getting better. I've been upping my push-ups, I've been upping my sit-ups, I'm getting more stuff done, and I'm getting better at making the videos. But to be honest, I'm still super late with all my deadlines. I'm not getting nearly as much writing done, and starting in week 5, you guys are gonna see me keeping track of the book I'm working on, which I'll talk about more next week. But the idea is you're just going to fail a lot at the beginning. So you have to really embrace failure and recognize that you're going to make goals and you're going to set standards for yourself. But the most important thing is that you are improving. And you can see how you're improving based upon those KPIs. If you're keeping track and you know that, well, I did more than I did last week, you actually are succeeding, right? Because success is progress, not necessarily hitting the goals that you set out to do right from the get-go. And this is why we're going to make our goals week to week based more around progress rather than what we're trying to do ultimately. And that's going to be really important. So the biggest thing is accepting the results. If you know that you're not doing as well as you need to, then you need to accept that and not lie to yourself or create a bunch of stories in your head. You need to just be honest about the results you're getting, and then just be realistic and ask yourself, why am I not doing the thing that I set out to? And that's really important. For me, the last month, I had been trying to get more clients into my program, but when I looked at the core activities that I needed to do, I realized I just simply wasn't doing them because my priority was going somewhere else. And so I had to ask myself, do I need to readjust my goals and be okay with the way the routines and the habits are going and build up to that? Or do I need to change those habits and routines so that they're more in line with my goals? Because that's ultimately what it is. It's either you adjust your goals to match your habits, or you adjust your habits to match your goals. And most of the time, especially like if you're just a bum, you want to change your habits and routines, right? Because to change or adjust your goals, to lower your goals because you're too much of a bum to reach for it, that's loser shit, if I'm being completely honest. So you want to make sure that you're actually being mindful of what it is you're trying to do, and then ask yourself, is the plan that I've set out to execute that the best plan for me? And that's where you reflect on the difference. You ask yourself, is it realistic, and where are my points of friction? Now, the one thing that I really want to emphasize on this is that part of embracing failure, the most important part is to make sure that you have a rest day. And it's really important that every week, I don't know why more people don't do this, like they talk about it in the Bible, and I think it's one of the most overrated pieces of advice, but having one day where you do absolutely nothing is so important for rest and revitalization. If you're not resting and you're not able to recalibrate what it is you just did for the week, you are working too hard. And if you're always just going, never even taking the time to reassess the direction you're going in, you might spend all this time and end up in a very different position than you thought you would be because you never took the time to make those adjustments. So it's super important that one day a week you just do nothing. For me, that's Saturdays. On Saturdays, literally like like that's like my sacred day, right? Like I don't do anything, I don't make any plans. Like I might have things that I want to do that are fun, but it's really just a day I sit down and recalibrate and I ask myself, how did last week go? What worked, what didn't work, and then what can I do for the week moving forward. I'll actually sit down and probably in one of these videos actually talk about what that recalibration looks like, where I talk about what my goals were and my KPIs, how I fell short or where I caught them, and then basically where I need to adjust. But it's important that you have a day that's completely free to be able to do that. If you're constantly loaded up with things to do, you really need to look at your life and ask yourself where I'm going to find space. This is going to be really hard for people who have like lots of like financial commitments or who are really burdened with family, especially in the United States. I don't know what it is, but there's something here in the United States where people are just constantly working all the time, and a lot of other places and countries, they understand that need for rest, but here like we're just constantly going all the time. And if you guys know anything, say, about agriculture, they'll rotate crops because they need to give the soil time to recuperate. They actually will only use a plot of land once every 4 years, and it's that same level of cycle for your body, for yourself. You need to give yourself time to rest, especially if you're working so hard to try and make a significant change. You need to have one day without a wake-up schedule, without a bunch of stuff to do, where you're just free. And if you can't make a life where that's possible, you need to really start asking yourself, am I living a healthy life? Because chances are you aren't. And that's going to be a big, I guess, eye-opener for a lot of people, but that's just the reality, is if you can't find one day of rest in what you're doing, and people need you so much, and there's so much going on that you can't even find one day of rest, you're attached to way too many things, and you're not going to be able to direct your life as you need to. So, just something to think about. Okay, and then for the final step, so guys, I'm really sorry about the quality again. I just checked it, and I'm not happy about it. I thought these mics were going to be better than they are. Just like everything, I'm sure my mom felt that way about me growing up, but it's okay, we'll deal with it. Anyway, so recommit again. This is the third and most important step that we're going to do. We'll even zoom in on this because that's how much I'm feeling it. All right, so we're gonna recommit again, right? And basically what that means, guys, is that analyze and reassess. So essentially it's like, okay, what did we do the last week, right? What worked, what didn't, right? And then ask yourself, if it didn't work, what got in the way? And then create a plan to get around that. So say, for instance, if I wanted to write 5 days a week, but I only ended up 4, I'd be like, well, why didn't I write? It's like, oh, because my mom got sick and I had to go pick her up. Well, there's nothing much I can do about that. But if it was because, oh, I got hungry and I worked out and I was too tired after my workout to do it, then I know, okay, I need to readjust my workouts on Wednesday so I can write more on Wednesday, or I need to readjust my goals the other day so I'm writing more those days so that I can work out. That way you're always analyzing and understanding, okay, what is exactly working and what isn't. And that's going to be really, really vital to understanding, hey, what's the next step here? And then after that, redo your plan, reiterate, and adjust to new data. And it's just as simple as that, guys. Because once you do that and you recommit again to the next week, recognize you're going to fail, you're going to do that, but you're just going to get closer to the mark every single time until eventually you're getting every week and you're hitting those standards of excellence you set for yourself. And once you're hitting your standards of excellence for yourself, the goals are inevitable. And that's the idea, especially in that first 1 to 2 months when you're trying to maintain that momentum as you're integrating it as a habit. You just have to be okay with the failure that's going to come and that's going to be inevitable with changing who you are. So that kind of leads me into the last little bit. We're going to talk about Operation Goose Rocket week 4 as we're coming up on a month here. What's it been like? And so talking about that, before we get future, if you guys got this far in the video, I want to say thank you so much for listening. Like and subscribe if you found this helpful, and definitely keep up the momentum for your writing goals and any of your other artistic goals. But now moving forward into the last bit of Operation Goose Rocket. This last week, I kind of got my butt whooped a little bit. I was really tired. The first 3 days were really, really good, but then I got really, really tired the last 4 days. But one is like a day of rest or whatever. So I asked myself what was going on. And I saw that I needed to readjust my workout schedule. So I'm going to start working out with some friends early on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, and then start jujitsu Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Looking at the KPIs, we're going to sit here and talk about Okay, so remember, the goals I need to get are 40 clients, right? Right now, I'm about, I had technically 18 at some point, but I'm actually going to start the counter at 13 for specific reasons, right? So that means I have 27 clients between now and the end of the year that I need to get. And I'm at 0.3 point of my income, and I'm trying to get to 2x, right? Which means there's 1.7 I need to go over. That's the difference. And then obviously of the 4 books I need to release, I haven't released any yet. September 1st is the release of volume 3. We're going to talk a lot about that starting week 5, where I'm announcing volume 3, but you guys heard it here first. September 1st is when I'll be releasing The Girl and the Beast volume 3. All things worked out. So that's Blackwater Rising, and I'm going to start putting some videos up on that, so you guys will see more on that. And then 4,000 hours and 1,000 subscribers for YouTube. I'm really far off from that, so I have no idea how I'm going to do that. But those are the goals, right? And I'm pretty far off. So every week, you guys are going to see the progress towards that as I keep track of the KPI. So keep checking in with Operation Goose Rocket to see how far along I get and if I'm making the progress and doing well. And then what are the adjustments we need to do. So everything we're talking about next week from here on out, you guys are going to see me sort of do that in my planning sessions, and I'll be talking it through with you guys so you can see exactly what it is I'm doing to try and hit my goals and to help you guys and myself level up. Checking out the O'Neill and Yabor Raising Project. Again, like and subscribe if you found something useful in this video, and share it, get it out there. I'm still trying to figure out how to juice this algorithm or whatever. And if you have a submission that you want to put in for a writing workshop, look down in the link below. If you have the first chapter of a book you want to get written or a short story, I'd love to do a workshop on it and talk through the writing principles, so we could do that there. But for anything life or questions related as well, you can also submit, and we can figure out a better way to live a better life for you and to essentially just do it right. I'll be putting in some stuff for the workshops later on for everybody to learn. And yeah, thanks so much for joining, and I appreciate you guys. Thanks for coming to the O'Neill and Yabor Raising Project. And remember, stay happy, stay healthy, and remember, you're the author of your story, so keep writing. Peace.